many weeks, discussing from the last section of Canto 4, wherein Narada Muni, with an intention to inspire Vairagya in the heart of Prachina Barihi, who was so attracted to Karmakanda rituals, he spoke elaborately through the medium of a allegorical story of Puranjana, ultimately saying that, so my dear king, you are that Puranjana. Being attached to Puranjani, you went through a inglorious death. Eventually, by good fortune, you became, you have been through many species. You've been to heaven, hell, different places according to your karma. But by good fortune, ultimately, you have become the daughter of King of Vidarbha. And by more good fortune, you have become the wife of Malaya Dwaja, who is a great devotee. And because of the power of service of Malaya, you had the good fortune of meeting with Paramatma, who revealed you, who gave you the realization of who you really are. That is what happened in a sense. So then that Puranjani goes back to Godhead. That story, having narrated that, our Nardamani says that you are that Puranjani. Do the needful. Why are you busy with this so-called Karmakanda rituals? If you continue to do like this, your life also will be no different from Puranjana. No idea when you will become fortunate enough. So better start now. Practice bhakti. Take up bhakti seriously now. Then Parachanabari thought that okay, no problem. When my sons, the 10 Pracetas who have been to forest to perform austerities, when they come, when they return, I will take up. Then he speaks another allegorical story of a deer, which was nicely enjoying in a garden, listening to the music of the bumblebees, looking at the beauty of the flowers, enjoying the fragrance of the flowers, enjoying the sweet grasses, moving here and there, without understanding. Who is about to shoot. Ahead, there are a group of wolves who want to pounce upon the deer when it comes nearby. That is a precarious condition. Understand that you are in that precarious condition and bring that deer out of that precarious condition. Doesn't bring yourself from that precarious condition. Then he understood, no need to wait for a long time. Let me go to forest immediately. He instructed the ministers to take care of the kingdom, and when his sons comes home, make them the rulers, and then like that. Then he went to forest to take up austerities and then attain perfection by the bhakti. That was the storyline ended in 29th chapter. Then 30th chapter we saw that the 10 prachetas who are in the forest, what they are doing. That was the inquiry by Vidura. Your father का delivery हो गए, sons के क्या होने वाला? So the sons, following the instructions of Lord Shiva, entered deep in the waters. For 10,000 years, they performed severe austerities. As a result, they had darshan of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. The beauty of Lord's description is given. Lord, and then Lord first speaks. Lord says that I'm very much satisfied by your severe austerities, sincere performance of bhakti, and cooperation among yourselves. Though you are 10 people, since you are cooperating with each other, you are one person only. Whoever remembers your pastime every day evening, they will also have friendly disposition towards all the living entities, especially among the brothers. And those who discuss the Rudra Gita, which Lord Shiva spoke to you every day, morning and evening, they will attain everything from me, including bhakti. Since all of you are same, since you are following the instruction of your father, you come here to perform austerities and gain Ashirvad and go back, get married and rule the kingdom. You will become famous in this world. And in order to help you for achieve your desired goal, I'll inform that there is a beautiful girl known as Marisha, who was the daughter of the heavenly Ocha and also a great sage Kandumuni. And she was raised by the plants, trees, and may you marry that girl. Through her, you will have a son who is no less than Brahma in comparison. and you will achieve great fame. And becoming virakta, becoming detached from the worldly appearances, you eventually will go to forest with the association of some great devotees. You will come to my abode. Saying that, Lord Vishnu became silent. Then the Pracetas began to express their gratitude unto the Supreme Lord. First of all, they say that, my dear Lord, we don't know what to offer, what to say, but whatever it is, please be pleased with us. Whatever it is, we don't know what is right, what is wrong, but we only want one thing. May you be pleased with us. So that was the request, that was the benediction, that was the anticipation which Prachetas are having. They only have that one thing, that may the Lord be pleased with us, with whatever we have. We are not sure what our qualities we have, but in couple of verses they also describe the Lord to be the Shuddhaya, Shantanishtaya, and then Vilasadvayaya, Namo Jagastana Layodayeshu, and etc. etc. Vishuddha Sattva, Hari, Harimedasa, Vasudeva, Krishna, Prabhave, Sarvashashvatam. Like that, many attributes they offer all these things, and they glorify the Lord. And then they offer general prayers. Let us offer obeisances unto your lotus navel, lotus garland, lotus face, and lotus feet. And then you have revealed your form to relieve us from the suffering that we are enduring by the severe austerity that we are going through for last 10,000 years. Just by your darshan, we have forgotten all the endeavor that we have been through. So like that, he says that by you remembering your devotees, the devotees feel completely satisfied, because you are situated in the heart of one and all, and you know what is happening in the hearts of one and all. Then how can you not know someone who had surrendered unto you? You definitely know what is there in our heart, so we don't have to ask separately. But still, since it is the occasion, we want to ask, since you will always eager to bestow benedictions. O Master of the Universe, O Jagatpate, you are the more important than liberation. You are our ultimate goal. Our desired boon is that may you be pleased with us. You may say that, okay, okay, my dear sons, please take, my dear sons of Prachinavari, please take liberation. You may say that, please take Swarga, please take this, please take that, but we don't want anything. We only want you as our goal. We only want your satisfaction, not more than that. We don't want anything else. But still, we have one more boon. What is that boon? They will relate in the couple of verses later that we want the association of your devotees. That they will say. So before that, they say that why they want association of devotees. They indicate with a analogy. Parijata labda saram anyunya sevate twadangir moolam asadhya. When a bumblebee is searching for nectar, it goes from one plant to other plant, looking for more nectar. But finally, when it reaches Parijata tree, it will go nowhere else. Similarly, when the Jiva attains shelter at your lotus feet, what is the need for going here and there? Because your lotus feet can fulfill all one's desires. Whatever desire one has, all are fulfilled. So in that way. We want only your lotus feet. In order to attain a taste of that sweetness, there is no boon we desire. Other than that, we do not ask any benedictions. So this they continue in the next three verses. So then they say that Yavatte Maya Sprushta Brahmama Iha Karmabi Tavat Bhavat Prasanganam Sangasyanno Bhavebe. So what do you mean by my lotus feet? Even though if we have to take birth again and again in this material world because of our karma, no problem. We'll take birth for multiple lifetimes. But in every lifetime, let us have the association of your devotees, where we get to hear about your lotus feet. We get to taste the sweetness of your lotus feet only in the association of your devotees. That's why we only want one desire. The first desire is that may you be pleased with us. Second one is that may we be in the association of your devotees, by which we get to taste the nectar of your lotus feet time and again. So like that. You said you are contaminated by Maya. You pray for devotees association to conquer Maya. Then why don't you just directly take liberation? The Lord says that आपको मुक्ति चाहिए, contamination से विमुक्ति चाहिए, then take liberation directly, I'll give you. They says no. We don't want liberation. They say that तुलयामे लवे नापे ना स्वर्गम ना पुनर्भवम भगवत संगी संगस्य मर्त्यानाम किमुताश्च. Because into all the different places. We have enjoyed the happiness of Swarga, we have enjoyed the happiness of Brahman, we have enjoyed happiness of earth, we have enjoyed happiness of all the different planetary systems, all the different species. But none of these happinesses come nowhere close to the happiness of devotees association. The devotees association is the topmost thing where we can experience topmost happiness. Because in the devotees, the association of the devotees is experienced to be 1,000 times better than Swarga or better than liberation. Because with the devotees association, one can experience the sweetness of talks about your form and qualities. In the association of devotees, we get to hear about your Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. This is not possible in Swarga, Apavarga, or in other places. Only in the association of your devotees only it is possible, nowhere else. That is millions of times the happiness of your impersonal form known as Brahman. Though you give all happiness to others, but the devotees give you the highest happiness. Devotees, by discussing about your glories, by discussing about your transcendental pastimes and birth and activities, they will give you unlimited happiness. So our only goal is to be in the midst of devotees so that we can also become an instrument in giving you happiness. That's why we only pray for the association of devotees and nothing more than that. So this was the theme of the Canto 4. Even Dhruva Maharaj prayed for the same. He had the association of Swayambhu Manu. And then Prithu Maharaj prayed for the same. He had the association of 4 Kumaras. Here the 10 Pracetas are praying by the same. And they will have the association of Narada Muni in the next chapter. So like that, this is the theme of the entire Canto 4. The solution to all the problems is the association of devotees. Why? The association of devotees is the solution to all the problems. That is mentioned in the next two verses 35 and so till the 34th verse we discussed in the last time, and today we'll continue from verse number text number 35 onwards. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow what we are discussing?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. यत्रेद्यन्ते कथामृष्टास् तृष्णाया प्रशमो यतः निर्वैरं यत्र भूतेषु नोद्वेगो यत्र कश्चन.
Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear.
So here is the key. This is what the Pracetas is saying. Yatra idyante katamrushtas. In that association, in the association of devotees, the pure topics of the Lord are discussed. Idyante katamrushta. Idyanta means worship. In the association of devotees, the devotees worship the Lord. How? By hearing and discussing Krishna Katha. So what is so special about hearing? From which From hearing and discussing Krishna Katha, all anchoring ceases. Trishnaya prashamo yata. Shama means to control. Prashama means complete control. The nature of the material world is that all of us have so many desires. Trishna means so many material desires. In chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita, where the three modes of material nature are explained, in the mode of passion, one is bound by karma. With Trishna Sangha Samudbhavaha. The desire to perform activities arises because there is a desire to get some material object. Trishna means desire to get some material object. In order to get the material object, one gets to perform so many material activities. And by that, one is bound by the mode of passion in the material world. This is how Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sangha Samudbhavaha. The mode of passion has two things, Raga and Trishna. Raga is attachment, Trishna is hankering. These two things bind one in this material world. But when one hears Krishna Katha, Srila Prabhupada writes, at least during the time of hearing, for great souls, the same mentality might continue. But for people like me and some of us, at least while hearing Krishna Katha, temporarily we become anasakta, disinterested in gaining any material objects, accumulating material objects, desiring material objects. That takes place while hearing Krishna Katha. When some great soul describes Krishna Katha, we think that okay, enough is enough, bahut ho gaya idhar. Let me engage only in Krishna service 24/7. No more, I don't want this, I don't want this, like that. At least during the class time, it will happen. So that's what I mentioned. At least during the discuss Krishna Katha is going on, the Trishna will be completely evaporates from our mind or from our heart. And also, two more things happen in that association. In that association, there is no hostility to any living entity. Nirvairam Bhuteshu. In every Krishna Katha, in every Bhagavatam class, we hear that Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Lord is the seed giving father of all living entities. Aham Bija Pradapita. All living entities are all fragmental part and parcels of the Supreme Lord. Everyone is a Jivatma struggling in this material world. So we think that okay, I am struggling, they are all struggling. What is the use of envying each other? We need to help each other to come back to Godhead. That competitive mentality, the envious mentality towards each other, at least during the Bhagavatam class is going on, we will lose. Afterwards, it may continue, it may again come back. When we come out of the temple hall, again the same mentality, same feelings might come. But at least while Bhagavatam class is going on, for some time we say that enough is enough, बहुत हो गया अभी, इससे उससे झगड़ा करके बहुत हो गया, अभी किसी के साथ झगड़ा नहीं करने का. Everyone is struggling in this material world. Let us help each other and go back to God, something like that. Nirvairam etra bhuteshu. There will be no vaira towards other living entities. We get to see during the class at least all the living entities are all part and parcels of the Supreme Lord. So in that way. And finally, in that association, there is no agitation. Na udvega etra kaschana. No more udvega. Even we are thinking about somebody said to me like this, like this, like that, that creates so much udvega within us. But during the Bhagavatam class is going on, that we can, when we His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj speaks, that he always quotes this verse. What was that verse? Third verse of the Chaitanya Shishtastakam. What was that? Amanena Manadena. So we should give all respects to everyone, and we should never expect any respect from anyone. When we hear that the meaning of this particular verse in the Bhagavatam class, while hearing that, we think that okay, at least for that moment, we think that bahut ho gaya abhi, enough. We don't want any expectation from anything, any respect from anyone. Let me be no one and then practice bhakti and go back, something like that. So this mentality will take place, at least this understanding, this kind of realization will take place at least while the class is going on. If the classes are going on forever, the same understanding will continue forever. So that is what our Pracetas is saying. We only want association of devotees because in that association these things will take place. Then what else we want? So like that they are praying to Lord Vishnu. Thus devotee association is recommended at all times and at all places for the Siddha Bhaktas and also not only for the perfected devotees, even for the practicing devotees also. The association of the devotees is required at all places, at all times. We should be able to hear Krishna Katha at all times so that we are reminded of all these things. So that we are not affected by Trishna, Vaira and Udvega. These are the typical things that are binding us to this material world, that are keeping us unsatisfied and unhappy in this material world. Yatra means in the association of devotees. Yataha means from that discussion. So, Trishnaya Prashamo Yataha. In that association, by hearing the Krishna Katha from devotees, all these things will take place one by one, one by one. If there is a continued Krishna Katha, continued realization of all these things. That's why the Pracetas is glorifying the importance of association. So, it is like that. You can also check, you can also test. Maybe tomorrow is Sunday. It's like that in one of the special programs. It may not happen every time in every class, but especially when we are hearing from some great souls, definitely it will happen without fail. That is my little understanding, my little experience also. If it is happening every time, it is good. We are actually taking it as power spirit. Otherwise also, especially in some special occasions, when our Guru Maharaj is speaking or some senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada comes and they speak, so it will happen. Hare Krishna, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
This is one of my favorite verses. This one and the previous two verses. So whenever we devotees ask so many questions, so many problems are there, this, that. So this is the solution. So solution to all the problems is hearing Krishna Katha. And they further continue. So the special nature, the special feature of this Vaishnava devotee association. Yatra Narayana Sakshat Bhagavanyasinam Gatihi Samstuyate Satkatasu Mukta Sangai Punah Punaha.
The Supreme Lord Narayan is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayan is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in the renounced order of life, and Narayan is worshipped through this Sankirtan movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they recite the holy name again and again.
Yeah. In the first canto, there is a mention about perfection of all our endeavors is to worship or please Lord Hari. Samsiddhim Haritoshanam. And that is what they are indicating here in this verse. In that association of devotees, Narayana, the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan Narayana, the goal of sannyasis, Nyasinam Gati, is repeatedly praised, Puna Puna Samstuyate, by persons without contamination, Mukta Sangai, through pure discussions, Satkatsasu. Only in that association of pure devotees, there is constant recitation of Krishna Katha. Other places, there is constant recitation of Gramya Katha. So Gramya Katha increases our Trishna increases our vaira, increases our udvega. But Krishna Katha decreases our trishna, decreases our vaira, decreases our udvega. So we need to select wisely. What do we want? We want the association of Grama Katha or we want the association of Krishna Katha. So accordingly, the Pracetas are indicating. So we want the association of devotees only, nothing else. Even though we are ready to take birth and again this material world, no issue. But wherever and whenever we may take birth in this material world, let us be in the association of some devotees. Because the devotees without any material contamination always dedicated to hear and discuss the wonderful qualities, activities, form and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the specialty of association of pure devotees. Did anyone also had that kind of feeling while hearing Krishna Katha? What I shared, at least I had many times. When we hear Krishna Katha, we feel that why so many unnecessarily meddling with all different devotees and everyone is working hard, everyone is struggling in this material world. Why to take so seriously small petty things? Just leave it aside and beg forgiveness and move on. So like that, we always think in the while class is going on.
Yes, Prabhuji. Like, Katha makes us more blissful. And then other
So
whatever
we should hear classes. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying, that it makes us so blissful that other all whatever things are bothering us, they seem insignificant then. So its
Yeah.
effect reduces naturally.
Yeah. At least during the class, remaining all becomes insignificant. Afterwards, again, we may come to back to square, but so that is the glory of Krishna Katha.
Yes, Prabhuji. It transfers us to a different world altogether.
Mm.
Feel disconnected with the real world temporarily, at least.
Mm. It will take us from pretty mindedness, which we go through here. Tesham vicharatam padbyam tirthanam pavanechaya Vitasya kim narocheta tavakanam samagama.
Dear Lord, your personal associates, devotees, wander all over the world to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. Is not such activity pleasing to those who are actually afraid of material existence?
Not audible.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we also can't hear you, like last 1.5 minute we are not able to hear. Can you hear now?
Ah, yes. Now your voice is clear. You can read the translation once again, Mataji.
Okay, fine. Dear Lord, your personal associates, devotees wander all over the world to purify even the holy places of pilgrimage. Is not such activity pleasing to those who are actually afraid of material existence?
Yeah. Here they are glorifying the devotees further. When the devotees, with a desire to be purified, wander to the holy places, should not a person suffering from this world relish a meeting with those devotees? He said that normally, in order to get purified, we may go to holy places in order to take a holy dip in the holy river. But can't we put the same endeavor to take the association of devotees seriously? In the association of devotees, we actually become more purified than taking bath in the holy place, something like that. To that effect, they are saying. The holy places, with a desire to be purified, think, let us be purified when the devotees take bath in our rivers. We are going to holy place to take bath so that we get purified. But the holy place are thinking that the devotees come to us and purify us. Because the masses come and take bath in them and deposit their sinful reactions in the holy rivers. They are filled with all that sinful reactions. But when the pure devotees come and bathe in the holy rivers, they are purified. So they are looking for the association of pure devotees. They think it is good fortune that the devotees come and purify them. But the devotees go there for getting purified by the holy places. Pitasya means one who fears material life. So then they are telling that it like in a way the practicing devotees go to different holy places so that they get purified. And on the other side, the holy places themselves are waiting for some pure devotees to come and purify them. So, so indirectly, without telling, they're telling that if we go to whole the pure devotees, we are double purified. So please consider that seriously. Like that, they are saying. They are indicating that the glorious position of the great devotees. Though we may think to be going to some holy place to get purified of our sinful reactions, but the holy places themselves are waiting for the association of great devotees. Then how much eager we should be to associate with great devotees? Because the great devotees always discuss the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The same kind of understanding is given when Vidura goes to Hastinapur. Yudhishthira Maharaj receives him, all the Pandavas and Yudhishthira Maharaj receives him. In that condition, Yudhishthira Maharaj says one verse. Bhavat Vida Bhagavata. Yes. Bhavat Vida Bhagavata Tirtha Bhuto Swayam Vibhu. Tirthi Kurvant Tirthani. Swa Antastena Gadabhuta. You, the great souls like your good self, are the purifiers of the holy places because great souls like you carry the Gada Bhuta, the Supreme Lord, the holder of Gada in your hearts. So that is the glorious position of great devotees. Janasya Krishnad Vimukasya Daivad Adharma Shilasya Sudukkitasya Anugrahayena Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. So Vidura is speaking to Maitreya saying that the people in this world turning their face away from Krishna, away from Supreme Lord, they are engaged in adharma activities. As a result of that, they are only experiencing perpetual misery. In order to show compassion upon them, the great souls like your good self are traveling on the surface of the earth continuously. Anugraha eha charanti nunam bhutani bhavyani janardanasya. So that is the causeless mercy of the great devotees. Then they themselves are traveling here and there to give their mercy. Then how much eager we should be who are desiring to get rid of this material existence to take the association of such great devotees. So that's how indirectly they are glorifying the association of great devotees in these verses. So it is like that. Now they give an example of such great devotee. What happened by the association of such one great devotee? They are quoting themselves as an example. Vayam tu sakshat bhagavan bhavasya priyasya sakyo kshana sangamena suduschakittasya bhavasya mrutyor pisaktamam twadya gatim gatasma.
Dear Lord, by virtue of a moment's association with Lord Shiva, who is very dear to you and who is your most intimate friend, we were fortunate to attain you. You are the most expert physician capable of treating the incurable disease of material existence. On account of our great fortune, we have been
In
able
this
to
verse, please continue.
take shelter at your lotus feet.
So in this verse, the Pracetas are comparing the devotees to be a physician. They are giving themselves as an example. Oh Lord, by association with your dear friend Lord Shiva, Priyasya Sakyu Bhavasya, your dearmost friend Lord Shiva, we have today attained you. Adya, today. Sakshatvam Gatim Gataha Sma. We have attained your audience. And what is the specialty of your audience? The best remedy for birth and death. Bhavasya Mrutyor Bisaktamaha. Tamam. So, the best remedy for the cycle of repeated cycle of birth and death is the audience of the Supreme Lord. And the audience of the Supreme Lord is, it became possible for us by the moment association with your dearmost friend Lord Shiva. Because there is no other way to cure the samsara, the disease of samsara. The only way to cure the disease of samsara is to see the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, which is possible only by the association of a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, like Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva, by his causeless mercy, gave us his own association for small time. As a result of that, today we have the darshan of your lotus feet, which is the suitable medicine for the Bhavasagar, for the samsara. There is no other medicine in this material world. So in that way, they are glorifying the association of great devotees like Lord Shiva. The boon we want from attaining you, the result of attaining you is association with devotees. They are telling that by the association of Lord Shiva, we are darshan of you. And the boon that we want from you is further association of devotees. Because association of devotees will bless us the constant darshan of your lotus feet. Who would not want to have that? So in that way. The sadhana for attaining you is also the darshan of devotees that is stated here. You remember the prayer offered by Mother Kunti? Apunar Bhava Darshanam. She said that let there be difficulties in our life again and again. Difficulty means your darshan. Your darshan means no more material birth. So that is the mood of devotees. Whatever may be the condition, they want to have the association of the Supreme, the darshan of the Supreme Lord, which is only the remedy or suitable medicine for this Bhavaroga. So in that way, this is how they are glorifying the association of devotees. By meeting Lord Shiva, who is a dear friend to you, we have achieved you the best remedy for the disease of birth and death. So like that. So same way, we want to have the association of devotees further and further so that we get to see you further and further, and there will be no chance of us taking birth again and again in this material world. So like that, they are indicating. Same way Mother Kunti had prayed in the first canto. Okay, you're able to follow?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. In last, at the end, they are kind of concluding their prayers again, saying that may you be pleased with us, whatever we have done. Be happy with us, be happy with our devotional service, and be pleased with us. That is the same thing they are asking from the beginning to the end. Yanna swaditam gurava prasidata viprascha vruddhascha sadanu vrutya आर्यानतासु रुदुभारतश्च सर्वाणि भूतानि अनसूयैव Yenna sutaptam tapayetadisha nirandasam kalamadabramapsu sarvam tadetat purushasya bhumno vrini mahete paritoshanaya. Please read the translation.
Dear Lord, we have studied the Vedas, accepted a spiritual master, and offered respects to Brahmanas, advanced devotees, and aged personalities who are spiritually very advanced. We have offered our respects to them, and we have not been envious of any brother, friends, or anyone else. We have also undergone severe austerities within the water and have not taken food for a long time. All these spiritual assets of ours are simply offered for your satisfaction. We pray for this benediction only and nothing more. Hare
We
Krishna.
have studied. They are saying that we have studied in our Gurukul and satisfied the teachers by paying them Guru Dakshana, by studying properly. And we have also satisfied the Brahmanas by offering some charities. We have also satisfied the seniors in knowledge, Vruddhas, those senior in knowledge, by rendering them menial service, by our proper conduct. We have respected the senior friends and our brothers. We have been kind to all beings without envy. We have performed severe penances, not taking food for a long time while remaining in the water. They were performing severe austerities for 10,000 years within the waters. So it's a great austerity. They are saying that we select all this for pleasing you, the great Lord. My dear Lord, we don't have any big achievements. Whatever we could do since our childhood till date, all this is a small offering unto your lotus feet. Be pleased with you. Be pleased with all these little offerings. So this is how the Pracetas are expressing their gratitude to Supreme Lord, saying that we are not a big people. Whatever little we have done throughout our tenure, be pleased with that. Being ignorant, we do not know the process of pleasing you. You should be pleased with what we have done randomly. So it's like that. Vruddha means those with good knowledge. Arya means those with good or great bhakti. So this verse is similar to as Lord Krishna says in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi yadashnashi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So whatever small things that we do, we should offer them to Supreme Lord for Lord's pleasure. So here the 10 Pracetas are simply following the same principle. So we can also say once in a while when we go to temple in front of the deities are saying that, okay, my dear Lord, whatever I have done till since childhood, these are all the different things I did. Please accept them and be pleased with those things. I'm not a big person. I cannot do big things. Be satisfied with all these simple things. That what I could do in my entire life. So the 10 Pracetas are setting a simple means of pleasing the Lord. So in that way, a simple prayer which helps us what we should pray when we go to the Lord in the temple. So we can also similarly say that whatever we have done till now, we can offer to the Lord and saying that be pleased with you, may you be pleased with all these small things. Am I accepting them? Something like that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Prabhu, is there any way of knowing that whatever we are
Yes,
doing or
Prabhu.
whatever we are doing is pleasing to the Lord or not pleasing to the Lord? Is there any way that we can know?
Don't worry. See, by offering this prayer, if we are satisfied, that means that satisfaction is coming from Paramatma. Paramatma is also satisfied. So we should be satisfied. ultimately. That okay, yes, today I've offered everything, whatever I did to the Lord. So may the Lord be satisfied. By that offering, if we are satisfied, that means that is a kind of indication that Paramatma is also satisfied. So like that, we can evaluate ourselves.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Then they further again they express their gratitude, saying that Manu Swayambur Bhagavan Bhavascha Enyatapo Jnana Vishuddha Sattva Adrishtapara Apiyan Mahimna Stuvantato Tvatma Samam Granima.
Dear Lord, even great yogis and mystics who are very much advanced by virtue of austerities and knowledge, and who have completely situated themselves in pure existence, as well as great personalities like Manu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva, cannot fully understand your glories and potencies. Nonetheless, they have offered their prayers according to their own capacities. In the same way, we, although much lower than these personalities, also offer our prayers according to our own capability.
So like that. Swayambhuva Manu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and many others, great devotees and great yogis, who became purified by austerity and knowledge, tapo jnana vishuddha sattva. Though they are not able to see your glories completely, but they continuously offer prayers unto your lotus feet. In the same way, we also offer prayers to the best of our ability. We don't know, though we are having your darshan, but we don't realize you completely. We don't have complete understanding. We are not so great and etc. Even the great people like Swayambhu, Manu, Brahma, Shiva, they may know about you completely, they may not know completely, but they continue to offer prayers unto your lotus feet for your pleasure. Similarly, following in their footsteps, we are also making an endeavor, a abbas for your pleasure, like that. Being ignorant, we are not even capable of offering prayers. Though they do not know the limits of your glories, in spite of being most learned, just as they glorify you, we also, though the most ignorant, offer prayers to the best of our ability. This is their humility. The Pracetas are exhibiting or presenting their humility here in this particular verse. Imitating the great devotees, we are also following their footsteps and trying to offer, make an endeavor to offer some prayers for your pleasure. It's like that they are saying. And finally, they offer their concluding prayer, saying that Namastamaya Shuddhaya Purushaya Paraya Cha Vasudevaya Satvaya Tubhyam Bhagavate Namaha.
Dear Lord, you have no enemies or friends. Therefore, you are equal to everyone. You cannot be contaminated by sinful activities, and your transcendental form is always beyond the material creation. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead because you remain everywhere within all existence. You are consequently known as Vasudeva. We offer you our respectful obeisances.
O Lord, finally, we offer our humble and respectable obeisances unto you, who are equal to all. Namas Samaya. My dear Lord, you are equal to all. Samoham Sarvabhuteshi Namo Deveshwasya Priya. In that way. And you are the purest, Shuddhaya. You are the supremost person, Purushaya Parayacha, Parapurusha. You are known as Vasudeva. You are known as Bhagavan. You are consisting of a Shuddha Sattva form, Sattvaya. So this is the final obeisances to the Supreme Lord, stating Lord's various attributes unto the form of Shuddha Sattva. Let us offer our respects finally. So this is how the Pracetas expressed their gratitude, their prayers, their understanding about the Lord, their understanding about the purpose of life, about the importance of the association of devotees, and what benefit one can attain from that association of devotees. All these prayers. These prayers are very simple and very meaningful and very practical. If you refer to the previous prayers of Prithu Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj, they are also very good, but they are highly philosophical. But our Pracetas prayers are very, very simple and very practical. So that's how we can see the difference among these prayers. So that's how they have completed their prayers, and having heard their prayers with a smiling glance, the Lord departs to his spiritual abode, because Lord already blessed and they don't want anything new. They just want the Lord's pleasure. Lord expressed his pleasure by smiling, and they said, we want association devotees, that anyway they will get. So in that way. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Praceto Biradistuto Hari Pritasthatetyaha Sharanyavastala Anichatam Yanamatryapta Chakshusham Yayau Swadamna Pavarga Virya.
The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the protector of surrendered souls, being thus addressed by the Pracetas and worshipped by them, replied, May whatever you have prayed for be fulfilled. After saying this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose prowess is never defeated, left. The Pracetas were unwilling to be separated from him because they had not seen him to their full satisfaction.
So here Maitreya is saying that the Supreme Lord, thus praised by the Pracetas, was pleased and said, so be it. Yeah, let it be whatever you say. Though their eyes could not be satisfied and they did not desire his departure, but the Lord, affectionate to the surrendered devotees, who has vigorous strength, then departed to his own spiritual abode. So that is what is indicated here. So having said, so be it, tata iti aha, whatever you have said, let it be fulfilled. Then they departed to the spiritual abode. Apavarga virya means having vigorous power. So in that way. Then Maitreya Muni further continues. Ata niryaya salilat pracetasa udanvata viksha kupyan drumais channam gam rodum ivochritai. Please read the translation.
Thereafter, all the Pracetas emerged from the water of the sea. They then saw that all the trees on land had grown very tall, as if to obstruct the path to the heavenly planets. These trees had covered the entire surface of the world, and at this time the Pracetas became very angry.
Yeah. Now the storyline begins. What happened afterwards? So the Pracetas were performing austerities within the water for 10,000 years on one side, on the western province of their kingdom. In the eastern side, in the Prachina Bari, was busy executing so many fire sacrifices. So, and then because of the teachings of Narada Muni, Prachina Barhi already retired to the forest. And he informed the ministers to look after the kingdom. Seems that the ministers were looking after the kingdom but not doing much. In the meantime, the entire surface of the earth is occupied by so many plants. so many trees. And that is the condition they are looking at as soon as they come out of the water. Malab, after having darshan, after offering prayers, and after getting blessings, etc. etc. Rising from the waters of the ocean, the Pracetas, seeing that the entire surface of the earth was covered with tall trees. Malab, there are trees grown up and they became tall, 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 tall. Because so much time passed, almost 10,000 years, which appeared to obstruct heaven, became angry. The trees are so tall that they seems to be covering the entire sky. People are not able to see the sky also, what is there in the sky. So it is overpopulated by so many trees, and the trees are so covering so much, they are not able to see the sky also. Analogiously, it is said that they are not able to see the heaven. So that was the condition when they came out of the waters after 10,000 long years. Seeing that the trees are covering the entire earth as if obstructing the Swarga, that means that entire eternal space, the entire sky, they became angry. How will we carry out the Lord's order? Lord told us go back and rule over the kingdom. पूरा जमीन ट्री से पेड़ से भर गए तो अभी क्या करेंगे? How will we, the servants of the Supreme Lord, rule the kingdom given by the Supreme Lord? These trees have covered the entire earth and want to swallow even Swarga. They've already covered the earth and they are going to swallow the Swarga also. Where will mankind reside? If this is the case, how will the people will be able to reside, cultivate the land and get crops and no sunlight and all? This was the cause of their anger. They became angry because of all these things and they want to do something. So apparently the ministers have not taken it seriously to remove the excess trees and all. So the entire surface of the land was overpowered by the number of trees and they are covering the entire land and covering the sky also. So that is the situation now.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, how do we understand the anger of the Prachetas? Because see, there was nobody, no one ruling, so naturally there was no one to take care of the things. So trees went on growing naturally, whatever the force was. So means when they come out and they want to rule, okay, like the surface needs to be cleared. This understanding is okay, but to get angry and that too from the persons who have just done austerities for 10,000 years, which we see that like austerities, and then not only austerities, they had a meeting with Supreme Lord directly. So that does gives a amount of equipoiseness and calmness to a person. So in spite of that, how we understand the anger of such personalities?
See, here their anger is not out of envy, not out of selfishness. Their anger is somewhat similar to that of Prutu Maharaj towards Mother Earth. If you remember a few chapters back, we saw that Prutu Maharaj is also chasing after Mother Earth in the form of a cow. The reason was the people were bereft of the food. They were about to die. So he became angry. What is that? At least if you are not prosperous, you are not providing prosperity, something like that. The same way, if the entire earth is covered like this, what is this? Some space should be empty for people to reside and cultivate land, etc. Indiscriminately, the entire land is occupied by the trees. So what is this? So it, in one sense, you see, it is like one kingdom is encroaching upon the other kingdom. So like that, the land meant for human beings is encroached by the trees. The forest is meant for the trees. The entire forest, the tree can grow in all direction, no problem. But where the cities and all the trees cannot grow, covering the entire surface of the land. So that like that we can see. It is a anger out of concern for the maintenance of the people. So like that we should take it.
And another thing is said, Prabhu, ki Lord's order, they cannot be followed if these trees are there, no? They cannot execute the orders of the
Because Lord told them, get married and rule the kingdom, your father's kingdom. Nicely take care of the subjects. So that is a common order for every king from the Supreme Lord. So उसके लिए तो kingdom तो होना चाहिए ना. If the entire kingdom is occupied by the trees, what they will do? How will they execute the order of the Lord? So in that way.
Okay. And one more thing was there, Prabhuji, like when Prachin Bari was saying that when my sons come back, I will go and take the Vanaprastha. Like, so that time Narad Muni advised him, don't wait for them. Like there's no need for you to worry for the kingdom. You just go. So
Yes.
in that perspective, when we see now what was the condition of the kingdom in absence of Prachin Barhi,
It's okay,
and
but this is not a permanent condition. This is a temporary condition. It happened. Now things will settle. In due course of time, the things will be settled. It's okay. There is always high and low many times. So that can be acceptable. But Narada Muni's point is that going back to God should be given high importance. The reason was, if you stay back, your realization what you have today will be dissipated by again desire to perform new more karma rituals.
yeah.
वो इंपॉर्टेंट था उस समय, इसलिए उनको जल्दी बोला. वो चला गया, अभी ट्री ग्रो हो गया तो उसको निकालेंगे, उतना क्या, वो छोटा मोटा काम है. बट गोइंग बैक टू गॉड इज
Not like
इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग.
tree growing. Means what I meant is kingdom is disrupted and there is no place to stay or there is no food. So that much grave is the situation. So means for one person's going back to Godhead, even the citizens suffer. That is okay and accepted by the Shastras. That's what I'm trying to understand.
See, exact scenario we also don't know here, but the general condition is being mentioned. The trees grown up too much all over, but may not be, maybe or may not be in the city, the place where people are there. At least we can say that the entire agricultural land is occupied by the trees. In that way we can take, so that they may not have a proper occupation. So in that way, the city people might be having still living. So in that way. So let us see what they will do. Tatogni marutam rajan amunchan mukatorsha mahim nirvirudam kartum samvartaka ivatyaye.
My dear king, at the time of devastation, Lord Shiva emits fire and air from his mouth out of anger. To make the surface of the earth completely treeless, the Pracetas also emitted fire and air from their mouths.
And Maitreya Muni says, O king, in great anger, they then released fire and air, Agni and Maruta. Both are came. Because the trees are very tall and very broad, they covered entire area. So in order to burn the trees, there should be fire, there should be oxygen also. So इसलिए दोनों they produced, so that there will be complete removal of the trees from their mouths only. The three-eyed Rudra can produce fire from the third eye, but here the Pracetas, being the mystics, they produced wind and fire from their mouth in order to in order to make the air treeless. It was like the fire of devastation, Samvartaka fire at the end of the universal destruction. Samvartaka iva atyaye. So like that. So just because since the entire land is which is meant for agriculture and all, agriculture, trade and all, is occupied by the so many trees, they want to remove them. But just like our Dhruva Maharaj, who wanted to take revenge against the Yakshas who killed his brother Uttama, he went there. He was about to, I mean, he was fighting with Yakshas, and one above the other, all the Yakshas came out and started producing illusions, and the fight became bigger. It became bigger. And the only way Dhruva Maharaj could stop the fight is to kill them. Doing that, he was killing 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 100,000. Then Swayambhu Manu came and told, what are you doing? You're going out of control. So for one person's sake, you are killing all Yakshas. It is not at all good. So the same principle we can see here. So since the surface of the land is overpowered by the trees and they produced fire as if the Samartaka fried, the universal destruction, which will uproot the entire tree community only. It is going to that extent. So that is what happens when someone is overpowered by the action. So difficult to put a limit to it. But they started doing it, but immediately Lord Brahma comes and stops them. Tells okay, enough is enough, बहुत हो गया, अभी tree पूरे मारा जाएगा, पूरा निकल जाएगा, something like that. Maitreya addresses Vidura as a king because he has no anger, since he reigns by bhakti. So the discussion between our Maitreya and Vidura is addressing Vidura as Raja, because Vidura also went through so many difficulties in life, but he did not become so angry when Duryodhana insulted him like anything. Dhanurdhari Nidayamana. He left his bow. That means he left his responsibility at the gate of Dhritarashtra's palace and left the palace, left Hastinapur, and went on traveling. So, but in comparison to Vidura, here Pracetas seems to be taking too personal and they are going overboard. So Maitreya is giving that kind of comparison, comparing him that, okay, you are the Raja, you have control. Pracetas seems to be losing their control. So like that, Maitreya is indicating, as you indicated that how can we justify the anger. But this happened with Dhruva also. So Pracetas also it is happening. So then very soon Brahma will come and settle the matter. So sometimes it is like that, when something happens like that, a great soul will come and settle the matter and give good sense to everyone, and many more pastimes happen because Brahma comes, their marriage also happens. So many things are there. So in that way. Bhasmasat kriyamanan stan druman viksha pitamaha agata samayam asa putran barhishmato nayai.
After seeing that all the trees on the surface of the earth.
Please read the translation.
Prabhuji, can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah. After seeing all the trees on the surface of the earth were being turned to ashes, Lord Brahma immediately came to the sons of King Barhishman and pacified them with the words of logic.
So seeing the trees turning to ashes, Brahma came and pacified the sons of King Prachinavari using logic. What logic Brahma used is not given in this section. The same topic is again repeated in the 6th canto, chapter 4. There, Brahma's expansion Soma. In the 6th canto is mentioned as Soma, who is Brahma's expansion. He gives some logic, and with that logic, he kind of pacifies the Pracetas. So logic is simple, same thing. You need some land for agriculture and trade. Then why you clear that much portion only? Why you want to clear the entire surface of the earth with the trees? That is not required. So something like that. To the extent you need the land, you excavate that much land. Remaining land, you leave it with the trees. Why you want to remove them from the other places? So with that, let the remaining trees be happy. Let them remain. So why you want to remove everyone? So something like that. Even day for yesterday, we were discussing in one Bhagavatam class. After Samudramanthan episode, when the Devatas got nectar, when Rahu and Ketu are drinking nectar, Surya and Chandra identified them. So then Mohini Murti cut off their head. Then the Asuras could not take it up. So you people only had the nectar and we are not having nectar. And they took up the weapons and went against the Devatas. Because the Devatas drank nectar, they became so powerful. They began to kill all the asuras, one after the other, one after the other. It is going to the extent that they want to uproot the entire asura community. Then Narada Muni comes and stops. So, my dear Devatas, please stop. You already defeated. You already caused sufficient amount of injury to them. Please don't kill them. Don't exterminate them. They also needed to be the part of the creation. You cannot remove the Asura Jati completely. So that the Devatas hearing the words of Narada Muni, they stopped. Then Narada Muni instructed the other Asuras, please take the injured people to Shukracharya's ashram and he will do the needful. So like that. So such kind of cases we see in the Bhagavatam many times. Here Brahma also kind of stopping our Pracetas. My dear sons of Prachanvarhi, please, enough. You have already for agriculture and trade. Please stop here. Don't do further damage. Something like that.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, what is the contribution of asuras in the society? Like why they need,
Contribution.
I mean to say that why they need to be there on the earth, like.
Because they are also created. It is not about the contribution. It is to facilitate the desire of the jiva. Some jivas want to be like asuras. So they need to be given some place, some facility to be like that.
Okay, yeah.
That was the whole purpose of creating the material universes, to facilitate jiva's desire.
Okay, yeah.
In
Understood.
that way we can see.
Yeah.
तत्रावशिष्ट ये वृक्ष भीता दुहित उजहृस्ते प्रचेतेभ्यो उपदिष्टा स्वयंभुवा.
The remaining trees, being very much afraid of the Pracetas, immediately delivered their daughter at the advice of Lord Brahma.
Then the remaining trees wanted to establish a relationship with the Pracetas so that the Pracetas will not harm them. Relatives के बीच में ऐसा होता नहीं बाद में. So the frightened trees, which still remained on advice of Lord Brahma, offered their daughter to the Pracetas. So now they are offering their daughter in marriage to the Pracetas so that the Pracetas will not cause such kind of things toward the trees. Now the trees become father-in-law. So how can they do it? So like that. The same thing we can see in relation to Lord Rishabdev and Indra. At one point of time when Rishabdev was born and he became youthful, he became king. His glories are sung all over the universe, even in Indra Sabha. Indra became kind of, oh, ऐसा है क्या? Rishabdev, so glorious, so great. Let me check. Giving rains for 12 years. There was Akal. For 11 years, the people had no problem. The 12th year, people had problem. They complained to Lord Rishabdev. They said, my dear Lord, Akal, our Koshagar completed. Please do something. Then Rishabdev understood, okay, Indra is trying to test me. Let me show my mystic potency. Lord Rishabdev, by his own mystic potency, produced rains, by which the entire Bhumandala became prosperous. Then Indra understood, oh, Babe, I am playing with fire. Then he came down to beg forgiveness from Lord Rishabdev. In the process of begging forgiveness, he offered his own daughter Jayanti in marriage to Lord Rishabdev, so that Lord Rishabdev will not continue to maintain the ill feelings towards Indra, that Indra want to test me. Kaisa Indra? It's like that. So later on, when Rishabdev performed more than 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas also, Indra did not take it seriously because Indra has no problem. So anyway, he's Lord, my son-in-law, he does not want my position. So he did not get insecured by looking at more than hundreds of sacrifices from Lord Rishabdev. So this is the common phenomenon. When something is in order to pacify them, they'll offer something in gift so that they'll establish sambandha so that such kind of thing will not happen in the future. So it's like that. This is the kingly strategy. They do it like that. Te cha brahmana adeshan marisham upayemire yasyam mahad avajnanad ajana yonija. Please read.
Following the order of Lord Brahma, all the Pracetas accepted the girl as their wife. From the womb of this girl, the son of Lord Brahma, named Daksha, took birth. Daksha had to take birth from the womb of Marisha due to his disobeying and disrespecting Lord Mahadeva, that is Shiva. Consequently, he had to give up his body twice.
By the order of Lord Brahma, all the Prachetas married their daughter of the trees. Her name is Marisha. And they went back. They became the kings. They began to rule over the kingdom. In due course of time, by the ordinance of the providence. So the 10 Prachetas gave birth to one son, who it was Daksha. Daksha appeared as the son of the 10 Prachetas through Marisha. So Marisha was the child raised by the trees. She was the daughter of the trees. Ajana Yonija is Daksha. Daksha, in the previous birth, he was the Manasa Putra of Lord Brahma. He was not born through the yoni of a woman. But that Ajana Yonija, the one who was born with directly from Brahma's mystic potency, now appeared through the yoni of a woman, Marisha. Daksha was born from Brahma previously, but because Shiva, he took birth from Marisha in the Kshatriya line through the Prachetas. Because of being born from the Kshatriya blood, he had to experience the suffering of being born from a womb. He stayed in the womb of a mother for 9 months and then appeared through the womb of a mother. He had to go through all the pain, result of his offense towards Lord Shiva. It should be understood that he had died twice, once by the hands of Veerabhadra and later by time. If you remember, we also mentioned this in those chapters of the fourth canto beginning chapters, when Dakshayajna was going on, when Sati burnt herself by invoking fire, when Veerabhadra was created by Lord Shiva, when Veerabhadra followed by the Bhuta Preta Pishasha Daksha Rakshasas, they were coming toward Dakshayajna. The ladies, they saw the smoke rising initially, and they were talking among themselves. It seemed that some thieves are coming. Some ladies said. Others said, no, how can thieves will come? Prachinabari is ruling. There is So they were expecting, they were looking at who are they really. Then eventually Veerabhadra and all the ghostly beings came. Veerabhadra cut off the head of Daksha and offered the head to Dakshinagni fire in the southern direction. That head got burned to ashes. Eventually, all the injured devatas and the brahmanas went to Brahma. Brahma took them to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva came in order to reinstate the yajna. He revived the dead persons. The goat which was supposed to be offered in the sacrifice was still lying there. Lord Shiva told that remove the goat head and join it to Daksha's body. Daksha was revived and the yajna got completed. Everyone went to their home, respective homes. Everyone is happy that everything is completed, and because though some difficulties were there in between, but Daksha was not happy because previously the beautiful Daksha now became goat-headed Daksha. He died in due course of time, and now he appeared as the son of Thus, Daksha died twice, once by the hands of Veerabhadra and later by the time. In due course of time, he died and then he is born as the son of 10 Prachetas. So that is mentioned.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, what is the lifespan of all the Brahma sons? Usually it is one Manvantara, or is this because we see here it is specifically mentioned that Daksha had 2 births.
Uh,
So
it's the same, but Daksha only he changed his body.
Yeah, but normally, what is the lifespan of Manasaputras of Brahma?
See, the main Manasaputras of Lord Brahma, who are like the Prajapatis, who are the in charges of teaching Nishkama Karma Yoga, the four Kumaras in charges for teaching Jnana Yoga and Nardani and all. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti said that their lifespan is equal to that of Brahma.
Okay, okay.
They all live as long as Lord Brahma live.
Okay, okay, okay.
So because they have not come here to because of their karma, because they have come here to teach us Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga and all. So they are there throughout the tenure of Lord Brahma.
Okay, okay, fine.
That way we have to understand.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
I also wanted, out of curiosity, I just want to know that is it that all the sons of Brahma, after their lifespan is over, they go back to the Godhead, like, because here specifically it is mentioned that Daksha had to means had to go in the womb of a Kshatriya mother and then take birth again, like. So other sons, they go back directly after their lifespan is over.
See, that's what I'm saying. These people did not come here because of their karma. They have come here to serve the mission of the Lord. So, if required, they can go back to Godhead, or they
So how
again
it
to the next
happens?
creation of Brahma, next creation of Mahavishnu also.
Like,
If they want, they can continue their seva time and again. If
okay,
they
that
think that okay, this is enough, I want to go back to Godhead, they can go back to Godhead also.
okay. So does it like means whatever you explained, I understood. Does it mean that like after primary creation, when Brahma starts creating and secondary creation begins, that time also whenever means Brahma first on Brahma's request, some other jivas from the spiritual world, they come here because the creation has to be expanded. Like that, it is to be understood.
Yeah, somewhat like that. Because these people, at least I don't know details clearly, but Chakravarti says that they also live as long as Lord Brahma. So Narada, the four Kumaras, and these great souls like Vasishta, Pulaha, Kratu, Angira, these direct Mansaputras about whom we hear, they all live
Okay.
karma. So because they have come for a mission, they have come here to teach. So they are all teachers. Like in every school, we have teachers. They are there always in the school. The student come and they complete 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They pass and they go out. The students are coming and going, but the teachers are remaining there only till the time they retire.
Okay.
So so it's like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
If they want, they can take VRS also. But if they want to continue to serve, they can continue.
Okay. So whenever they want at their own will, they can go back after,
Yes,
after their mission is over.
yes. Yes.
So that we can expand to the current scenario also. Means I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but like all the acharyas or sannyasis, what we see that they are from the spiritual world, so they can go back whenever they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they also, if they want to, if they want to go back to Godhead, they can go anytime. But they remain
Yeah.
here as much as possible so that they can serve. They can help the humanity to take a bhakti more and more.
More jivas can go back to God.
Yes, that is there. That is there. Or either they can go back home back to Godhead after this lifespan, or they can again appear in another time at another with another body, and they can continue their seva. So it's up to them.
Yeah. Thank you.
And also it's up to them, and also between them and the Lord. Even Brahma also tells in the Brahma Vimola, my dear Lord, enough is enough. ब्रह्मा बनकर बहुत बड़ा बड़ा गलती कर रहा हूँ. मुझे ब्रह्मा नहीं कंटिन्यू करने का, मुझे मुक्ति दो. मुझे मुझे नहीं क्या बोलते? You please relieve me from this seva. Lord Krishna did not even turn to him. He turned his face aside. अभी आप सेवा से निकल गए तो अभी कौन करेगा सेवा? ब्रह्मा का सेवा करना इतना आशामाशी नहीं. मुझे ही करना पड़ेगा, आपको निकालेगा तो मुझे ही करना पड़ेगा. तो Lord Krishna says me, you continue. अभी ऐसे मत बोलो, please continue. Without saying, Krishna turns his face aside. So it is like that. Even when Indra comes after Govardhan, he also says, I am making this galti again and again because of my position. Please help me come out of this. And Krishna says, no, don't worry. So you made a mistake, no problem. गलती होता है, भौतिक जगत का नियम है वो. But don't make the same mistake again. Go ahead, do your service. Go back and do your service. तो वही चल रहा है.
Quite interesting to know, Prabhuji. Like, means even for the Lord, it is difficult to get to the people who can really serve particular post. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
it's like that.
Because in material world we do see for or like material spiritual for sevas we do get there is shortage of people who can do particular type of service. Yeah. Okay. Thank
गलती
you.
रहेगा तो भी चलेगा.
Yeah.
करते रहो ऐसा गलती मत करो, वापस थोड़ा ध्यान से करो करके ऐसे बस. दैट इज लॉर्ड इज डूइंग द सेम थिंग, सो वी शुड आल्सो डू सेम थिंग.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
डायरेक्शन. चक्षुषे तु अंतरे प्राप्ते प्राक्सर्गे काल विद्रुते या ससर्ज प्रजा इष्टा सादक्षो दैवचोदिता. Please read.
His
What
previous
happened?
his previous body had been destroyed, but he, the same Daksha, inspired by the supreme will, created all the desired living entities in the Chakshusha Manvantar.
Yeah. So now, actually, there is a different story about entire Daksha. The same story. What happens later in between? That story will be told to you in the 6th canto. But here it says that, see now, what happens is mentioned in the next chapter, but I just give you a brief connection to that. So Daksha was born, Daksha was growing, he had been to Gurukul. Just like Prachina Bari, before the children came from forest, took to Vanaprastha order. The same way looks like that. So that when Daksha was still young, he was not yet become matured enough to become the king. The Pracetas became detached. They said, my dear son, please take care of your mother. We are going to forest. Vanaprastha order. They went to forest on one side. And Daksha was thinking, so मैं तो ब्रह्मा का मानस पुत्र था, मैं तो प्रजापति श्रेष्ठ था. So now I have become the Kshatriya here. What is this? I have to regain my position. So he went to other side of the forest and he began to perform tapasya starting from the middle of the Swayambhu Manvantara. And it went on. Second, Swarochcha, Tamasa, Raivata, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata, and Chakshusha Manvantara. Somewhere in the middle of the Chakshusha Manvantara, till then, he was performing austerities. And in the middle of Chakshusha Manvantara, at one point of time and one fine day, Brahma went into power nap. Kuch to ho gaya. So taking Brahma's power nap as a what we can say as a reason, Lord wanted to perform some special pastimes. So one day, King Satyavrata went to river to offer morning argya. When he took the water in his kaput forms, he saw a small fish. He thought it is not fit for offering, so he wanted to put the water back into the river. The fish said, my dear Lord, please save me. There are big fishes who will eat me up. So then eventually it went on. The fish grew up bigger. Eventually, King Satyavrata put the fish in the ocean. Then he asked the Lord, my dear Lord, please tell me, it seems that you are not a devata, not a mystic, you seems to be supreme Lord. Please tell me what is your mission coming here. Lord said 7 days from today, there will be a pralaya. Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka will be destroyed completely. I'll send a boat, you aboard with Saptarishis and with some important grains, food grains and all. I'll save you. Same thing happened. The 3 planet systems got destroyed. Brahma woke up. As soon as Brahma woke up, gone. That Srushti which he created in the beginning of the day, which he maintained till now, it's gone. No one is there around. No and then below that, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Matala, Satal, Patal, all the 10 lokas completely vacated. Lokas in themselves are gone. Now Brahma is in dilemma. Painstakingly I have created and maintained all the while, and everything gone because of my power nap. Now who will do the same thing again? While he was thinking, he remembered Daksha, who was performing austerities from Swayambhu Manvantara all the way up to Chakshusha Manvantara. And he went to Daksha and he told, my dear Daksha, please, अभी आपको जो पोजीशन चाहिए मैं देता हूँ, जो एम्पावरमेंट चाहिए मैं देता, सब कुछ मैं देता हूँ, अभी जो भी कर लो, तीनों लोग और 10 लोगों को produce children as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, and populate the entire thing. That is what is being indicated here. He who, inspired by the Lord, created the desired progeny at the time of Chakshusha Manvantara, when the previous creation has been destroyed by time, is known as Daksha. By pleasing Lord
Hare
Shiva.
Krishna, Prabhu.
One second, let me read through the notes, then we'll take the questions. By pleasing Lord Shiva, though through praising him, Daksha that is described here. So that means last time already, though he offended Lord Shiva, but he also begged forgiveness from Lord Shiva, but the remnants are there, but still he regained his position. But though he had to take birth as the son of Kshatriya, the 10 Pracetas, but by his severe penances, which were lasting for 5 long Manvantara periods, he regained his previous position and also he could manage to create so many living entities who would populate the entire universe. So Vidruta means when the 5th Manvantara ended and during the 6th Manvantara, the old creation was destroyed by the will of the Lord. And then the universe was repopulated by Daksha. Even that was the desire of not only Brahma, that was the desire of Lord Vishnu also, which will be mentioned in the 6th canto 4th chapter. There you will understand. He was born during Swayambhu Manvantara and had to perform austerities until the first half of the 6th Manvantara with a desire to regain his previous powers. In the second half of the 6th Manvantara, his austerities bore fruit. He regained his previous position and he became second Brahma. He did whatever Brahma did. So this is the glory of Daksha that is indicated here in this verse. His future activities are briefly summarized in 1 or 2 verses here itself. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Then from the Swayambhu Manvantara till Chakshusha Manvantara, what about the increase of population? Who was doing that then?
It was Nitya Srishti. The couples were producing children.
Acha.
After
No,
Brahma's
because
Naimitika Srishti, there was Nitya Srishti after creating Swayambhu Manu
okay.
Satarupa. The through couples is established and it was continuing since then.
Okay.
Krishna?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, whenever there is a pralaya, only the Bhu, Bhuvar and Swargaloks are destroyed during the Naimittik pralaya.
It is said that during the Naimitika Pralaya, which happens at the end of day of Brahma, in one sense, all the 14 planetary systems are all. Some of them are directly destroyed, some of them are indirectly destroyed. They don't go through physical destruction, but they become unmanifest. And all the living entities, all the way up to Brahma, they all enter into the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And in the next day, again, Lord Brahma creates the bodies for all the living entities. That is a regular procedure. But what we just discussed is this is a general phenomena which generally happens at the end of every Manvantara. Because at the end of every Manvantara, we always hear that all the devatas change. So that we think every 5 years we have elections. The people are there, the old people also there, the new people also there, and the government is changing. May not be like that. From Shastra point of view, there seems to be a small kind of pralaya which will inundate the Bhuloka, Borloka, Sargaloka with water at the end of every Manvantara, and there is a new creation in the new Manvantara. All the living entities again recreated and the people are reassigned in different posts. They'll do their services. That information is there in the different shastras.
Sorry, no matter. Continue.
So what we just discussed, it seems that this is the phenomena which takes place after every Manvantara.
So only these three planetary systems are inundated with water.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Correction.
Prabhuji, you mentioned about Brahmaji entering the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So that is when it is at the time of Atyantik Pralaya, at the end of Brahma's.
No. At the end of Naimitika Pralaya, at the end of the day of Brahma. At the end of every day, Lord Brahma with all the living entities
Okay, so at the end
enters
of
into the body of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. So there they take rest for the entire night at the end of Brahma's day.
so Brahma's night means he take again that 1000 Chaturyaga time that time he will be in the
That much time they take rest in the body of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. After that, the next day morning again, Lord Brahma will make appearance from lotus or some other means.
So, and after at the end of Brahma's life, Brahma will go back to Godhead and somebody else will come as another Brahma. That is all. Huh?
Yes. Brahma and all these great personalities, if they want to go back to Godhead, they will all go back to Godhead. And some other living entity will become Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu in the next creation of Mahavishnu.
Okay. And at the end of the Manvantara, whatever Pralaya happens, that time only this Bhuvar Swaloka that will be destroyed or that will be covered, and but Brahma will be there in his post wherever he is.
Yeah, the upper four will be intact because they don't go through any changes at the end of Manvantara because the entire day of Brahma is the daytime for the upper four planetary systems.
So what is the time period of that Pralaya? Means these three lokas will be covered.
1 day is equal to 1000 Chaturyugas. That will be their daytime.
No. Like we say that in we just discussed that in Naimatik Pralaya only Bhuvar Swarloka, these three will be covered, na? So these three will be covered for how long? Because upper planetary systems are there.
See. Wait, you are get confused. Naimitika Pralaya takes place at the end of Brahma's day, during which all the 14 planetary systems are destroyed.
Okay.
Okay, some of them are directly destroyed, some of them are indirectly destroyed. But at the end of every Manvantara, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swargaloka are destroyed by heavy rain. And they are repopulated. Now currently in the Chakshusha Manvantara, they are repopulated by our Daksha. At other times, somebody else will take the responsibility, or Lord Brahma himself might take the responsibility of recreating.
Prabhuji, the lower planetary systems, they are not destroyed.
No, when you say Bhuloka is destroyed means the lower planetary systems are also destroyed. Because after every Manvantara, the entire population will change. All the population will change. All the devatas will change. People will change.
So that means, Prabhuji, after destroying immediately, the next Manvantara starts. Or there is some period
Sandhi, which lasts for the duration of one Satyayuga time period. Yeah, Sandhi period is there. During that Sandhi period, all these things will take place.
Okay. So means after every Manvantara, one Satyayuga time period will be Sandhi period, and then from there after that the new creation for the next Manvantara will start.
Not after that, during that.
Okay, during that only. So immediately it is a means a continuous process, like sort of.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Because you can read Bhagavad Tattva Vichar. So all these details are mentioned in that book. Everything. Sushti, maintenance, Sushti, Sthiti, Laya. What are the different kinds of annihilations, when it happens, how it happens, what is the procedure, so etc. They are all there in that book.
Yes. You have explained these
Sorry,
concepts.
but can we please mention the chapter where we'll find this, because entire book becomes so difficult.
No, the chapter name itself is Sushti Sthiti Laya.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
We'll continue. You are saying something, Shwetanga Mataji?
No, Prabhuji, I was just saying, I was going through the book. You have explained concepts very nicely.
Thank you. Yo jayamana sarvesham tejasvinamrucha swayopadatta dakshaksha karmanam dakshama bruvan Tam praja sarga rakshayam anadir abhisiccha cha yuyoja yuyujenyamscha savai prajapatim. Please read the translation.
After being
After-
born, continue, Matani.
No, Mataji, continue.
After being born, Daksha, by the super excellence of his bodily luster, covered all others' bodily opulence. Because he was very expert in performing fruitive activity, he was called by the name Daksha, meaning the very expert. Lord Brahma therefore engaged Daksha in the work of generating living entities and maintaining them. In due course of time, Daksha also engaged other Prajapatis or progenitors in the process of generation and maintenance.
So this verse says what he did. Equal to Brahma, he spread his power by his effulgence over all, because he was expert at performing rituals, he was called Daksha. Karmanam Dakshat, he was expert at performing Vedic rituals. We saw in the beginning also, he was performing one after the yajna. Brahma appointing him, engaged him in creating and maintaining the progeny. He engaged other Prajapatis as well. So Daksha's power is described here. Equal to Lord Brahma, Daksha spread power by his influence. Lord Brahma engaged Daksha in creating and protecting the progeny. Daksha engaged others such as Marichi, Kashyapa, etc. etc. All other Prajapatis also, so that the entire universe can be populated. So this was about the 10 Prachetas, their austerities, their darshan of the Lord, their Lord's pleasure, their prayers, Lord's benedictions, their rule, their child's activities, all are kind of briefly given in summary. So this is from chapter 30, and then we briefly start today chapter 31, and we'll continue tomorrow chapter. That tomorrow we will complete chapter 31, so by which our canto 4 is completed. So chapter 31, Narada instructs the Prachetas. Narada, in the 31st chapter, the Prachetas detached from the kingdom, leave for the forest. They take on to Vanaprasthada, as I just mentioned, and by practicing bhakti described by Narada Muni, they attain the Lord in his spiritual abode. So Prachetas going back to spiritual world is described in the 31st chapter. There are about 31 verses. In this chapter, the section from verse number 8 to 22 is important, where Narada Muni instructs the Prachetas. That is important section. We will see that. We'll start that and we'll continue tomorrow. We'll discuss that elaborately. Maitreya Uvacha Tata Utpanna Vijnana Aukshajabhashitam Smaranta Atmaje Bharyam Visrujya Pravrujan Grihat. Please read.
The great saint Maitreya continued. After that, the Prachetas lived at home for 1,000 years and developed perfect knowledge in spiritual consciousness. At last, they remembered the blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and left home, putting their wife in charge of a perfect son. Hare Krishna.
Sorry. One devotee calling me. Just first. Here, developing knowledge, Utpanna Vijnana, and remembering the words of the Lord. Matlab, while ruling the kingdom, many years, many centuries might have passed. They were performing sacrifices for the well-being of the people. They're taking care of the citizens nicely. And also they had a son in the meantime. So the Pracetas, remembering the words of the Supreme Lord, that eventually Lord said that, okay, you rule, you develop detachment from the kingdom and then eventually come to me. So remembering that the Pracetas left their wife with their son Daksha and left the house. They kept their wife under the care of their son and they went to Vanaprasthana to perform austerities as every Kshatriya would do. The Lord said in 4:30:18 that they would become disgusted with the kingdom and attain him eventually. That is indicated. Having gone to forest, what did they do? Dikshita Brahma Satrena Sarva Bhutatma Medasa Praticham Dishi Velayam Siddho Bodh Yatra Jajali.
The Prachetas went to seashore in the west where the great liberated sage Jajali was residing. After perfecting the spiritual knowledge by which one becomes equal towards all living entities, the Prachetas became perfect in Krishna consciousness.
With a vow to contemplate the meaning of the Vedas, Brahma Satrena, and thereby understanding that all beings are equal to oneself, Sarva Bhutva Atma Medasa. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Astini Suni Chaiva Svakecha Pandita Samadarshina. They attained perfection in the east on the shore of the ocean where Jajali resided. So they went to the eastern side, where to the place where Jajali Muni was residing, somewhere in the Himalayas it seems, eastern part of the Himalayas. And there they began to perform severe austerities, as a result of which they attained equal vision towards all the living entities. So, which is the meaning of the Vedas. Brahma Satrena means by discussions about the meaning of the Vedas, for it is said, Swayambhuva Brahmasatram Jana Loke Abhavat Pura. O son of self Brahma, once long ago on Janaloka, wise sages who resided there discussed the meaning of the Vedas. So this is a verse spoken by Naranarayana Rishi unto Narada Muni. Once Narada Muni approaches Naranarayana Rishi and asks, my dear Lord, please tell me the meaning of the Vedas. How can the Vedas which are describing the topics of the three modes can describe the Supreme Lord who is the beyond the three modes? How is that possible? Then Narana is telling that long back in Janaloka, all the great sages with a desire to understand the meaning of the Vedas, they approached the four Kumaras. They inquired the four Kumaras the same way you are inquiring me. In which Sanat Kumara replied something. The prayers of the Vedas personified. I'll repeat the same thing like that. Narana Rishi repeat the same to Narada Muni. So that is the condition. The meaning of the Vedas is the discussions about the Supreme Lord. So that is the understanding. Amarakosha says that Brahma means the Vedas, truth and austerity. Sarva Bhutatma Medasa means with the thought that all beings are equal to oneself. So with that thought, one should meditate upon and perform austerities having gone to Vanaprastha. So for our condition, we don't have to go to forest, but we should retire from active life and utilize our time in trying to understand the meaning of the Vedic literature such as Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So that is the Vanaprastha for us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, which verse was spoken by four Kumaras in Janaloka?
The entire chapter was spoken by the four Kumaras only.
Okay, this entire chapter. Okay.
Not this.
Then,
1087.
okay, 1087 9. Okay. Thank you. Prabhuji, and also there is in previous verse, no, it is mentioned that in they remained in the house for 1,000 years, and after becoming, they develop perfect knowledge and spiritual consciousness. So, like I was confused. Generally, Grihastha Ashrama
Okay.
is.
That's what I said. No? They remained for many, many centuries ruling over the kingdom. Then they went to Vanaprastha.
No. What I didn't understand, Prabhuji, is like in Grihastha Ashrama, it is difficult to develop spiritual knowledge. Now, like generally in Vanaprastha.
No. See, we are hearing all the past times now from the beginning. How was Dhruva Maharaj ruling? How was Prithu Maharaj ruling? How was Anga Maharaj ruling? So even while ruling also, they are serving the Lord by the performance of yajna, deity worship and all. How can you say that it is not, it is difficult? They say it is very difficult to gain knowledge in the gross order. Out of humility, they say, but they are engaging in all devotional activities only throughout their tenure.
Okay.
It's like that.
Thank you.
All the pastimes which you will see in the fifth canto also, you will get to see the Priyavrata Maharaj, and then Nabi, and then we have Rishabdev, and then Bharat Maharaj. They were also rulers. They were also, while ruling, also they were practicing bhakti. If one does not practice bhakti while in the gross order, how will they develop a desire to go to Vanaprastha and serve the Lord?
Yeah, right.
It is a continued process, a continuous process. We cannot say that okay, यहाँ पे करना है पाए इसलिए उधर जाकर करेंगे, ऐसा नहीं. इधर कर रहे हैं, in order to increase their amount of service, they'll go on to further ashram.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Logical.
So it is like. तान्निर्जित प्राणमनोवचो दृशो जितासनान् शान्तसमान विग्रहान् हरे मले ब्रह्म नियोजितात्मना सुरासुरेड्यो ददृशे स्म नारदा.
After practicing the yogasana for mystic yoga, the Pracetas managed to control their life air, mind, words, and external vision. Thus, by the pranayam process, they were completely relieved of material attachment. By remaining perpendicular, they could concentrate their minds on the uppermost Brahman. While they were practicing this pranayama, the great sage Narad, who is worshipped both by demons and by demigods, came to see them.
Yeah. Narada, who is worshipped by the devatas and demons, Sura Asura Idya, saw them that they are performing severe austerities. They had controlled their life airs, their mind, their speech, and their sight, had perfected the yoga postures, and were sitting peacefully with straight posture, concentrating their minds on the pure Supreme Lord. Their time seems to be Satya Yuga, or maybe Satya or Treta Yuga. So, as the Vanaprastha rules and regulations permit, they need to perform severe austerities, taking the help of Ashtanga Yoga. They were doing. So, Narada Muni, observing them, came to them. The Lord was described in Lord Shiva's song as having a dark complexion like a rain cloud. So basically, meditating on the Lord, whose form is like the newly monsoon dark clouds. So they are engaged in all the variety of austerities. So looking at their purified consciousness, Narada Muni with great pleasure approached them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, it is in the purport, it is said that Narad Muni did not have envy from anybody. Even the demons did not envy Narad Muni. Whereas many places we see that demons are envious of Lord Vishnu also. So what is the reason they did not have envy towards Narad Muni?
Dhira, dhira, janapriya karao. The devotees are dear to both Dhira and Adhira also.
Yeah, but what is the reason I'm asking? Because demons are
the reason is they don't have anything to gain from anyone. The personalities like Narada Muni, do they have anything to gain from anyone?
No, but Lord Vishnu, when they are envious, so that way I'm saying.
See, they are envious of Lord Vishnu in the sense that they consider Lord Vishnu to be one among the Devatas. Lord Vishnu supporting the Devatas. And Devatas are only having the position and fame and name, which Asuras do not have. So whenever Asuras want to fight with the Devatas, Lord Vishnu siding them. So they see Lord to be one among the Devatas and then envy him. So in that way. They don't have the neutral understanding of the Lord. They see Lord, okay, Lord is always supporting the Devatas, he is also one of the Devatas. So that is where the problem is.
Whereas Narada Muni does not have anything to gain, so they are not envious.
Even though Narada Muni is a devotee, but he has nothing. क्या वो सन्यासी या तुमरू लेके आकाश में घूमते रहते हैं, उनको कुछ लेने का नहीं, कुछ देने का नहीं. So because from the Asura's point of view, they calculate from the matter, from the
Material,
point
yeah,
of matter.
material point of view, sir.
Yeah,
Material.
gaining something, losing some things. From them, नारदमुनि से क्या मिलेगा? क्या कुछ मिलेगा नहीं, कुछ जाएगा नहीं. कोई नारदमुनि is not interested in the material things. So उनको envy करने की आवश्यकता नहीं. But they are always envying the devatas because devatas are holding onto the position, heaven and all. So in that way they envy.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
It's like that. Simple. Even the Goswamis, they were living under the need underneath the trees. So what would someone gain or lose from them? उनको कुछ है ही नहीं उनका. अभी आपका मन का इच्छा है तो कुछ दे दो खाने के लिए, नहीं तो नहीं. They are not chastising you. Why you are not giving me like that? आप कुछ देगा नहीं. I mean, who would not like them? So it is like that.
Yeah.
तम आगतं त उत्थाय प्रणिपत्याभिनन्द्य च पूजयित्वा यतादेशं सुखासीनं यथा भुवन्. When Narada Muni appeared, the Pracetas stood up, offered respects on the ground, falling flat, pranipat, welcomed him and worshipped him by making him and sit on the elevated asan, washing his feet, and whatever they could do in the forest according to the rules. Seating him comfortably, they then spoke. So they received him nicely. They made him sit comfortably, and after some time, they began to inquire from Narada Muni submissively. So this is the spiritual guest reception. Pracetasa Ochu Swagatam te Surarushedya Dishtano Darshanam Gataha Tava Chankramanam Brahman Abhayaya Yatarave. Please read the translation.
All the Pracetas began to address the great sage Narada. O great sage, O Brahmana, we hope you met with no disturbance while coming here. It is due to our great fortune that we are now able to see you. By the traveling of the sun, people are relieved from the fear of the darkness of night, a fear brought about by thieves and drugs. Similarly, your traveling is like the sun's, for you drive away all kinds of fear.
The Prachita said, Welcome to you, O sage of the Devatas, Sura Rishi. Today, by good fortune, we can see you, O Brahmana. You have come. Your movements like the sun creates fearlessness. So this is how they are glorifying Narada Muni. Just as fear of thieves disappears, by seeing you, fear of samsara disappears. So this is the glory of seeing Narada Muni. Just by seeing Narada Muni, the fear of samsara will disappear. For one who takes the association of Narada Muni seriously, not for everyone. So it is like that. Yadadishtam Bhagavata Shive Nadokshajena cha Tadgrihishu Prasaktanam Prayasha Kshapitam Prabho.
O Master, may we inform you that because of our being overly attached to family affairs, we almost forgot the instructions we received from Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu.
Yeah. Oh Master, what Lord Shiva and what Lord Vishnu taught us has almost been destroyed since we were attached to household life. This is their humility. They are saying that we have forgotten everything in due course of time. Please teach us what is the best thing for us. If they have forgotten everything what Lord Shiva taught and what Lord Vishnu taught, why would they come to forest and perform severe austerities to please Lord Vishnu? So, I mean, this is the normal culture that the devotees always say that we forgot. Please, and we are bound by material existence. Please help us and deliver us. So this is the general principle, general custom the devotees follow always. And finally they say, Tanna pradyotayadhyatma jnanam tattvartha darshanam enanjasa tarishyamo dustaram bhavasagaram.
Dear Master, kindly enlighten us in transcendental knowledge, which may act as a torchlight by which we may cross the dark nascence of material existence.
They say that, please enlighten us about the knowledge of the Jiva, Adhyatma Jnana, which shows the highest truth, Tattva Artha Darshanam, the highest meaning of all the Tattva, by which we can easily cross the difficult ocean of material existence. Please speak about Jnana. In Bhagavad Gita, if you remember in the Vibhuti Yoga 10th chapter, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyayam, among all the types of educations, I represent Adhyatma Vidya, that knowledge about Atma and Atma's connection with Paramatma, and also Atma's deliverance from the material existence to the spiritual world. That is all called Adhyatma Jnana. And here Pracetas are also asking same thing. Please give us that Adhyatma Jnana which we forgot, following which, hearing which and following which we can become enabled to go back to Godhead. Adhyatma Jnana means the knowledge concerning the Atma and Paramatma. Enlighten us about the necessary knowledge of the Jiva that we previously knew and forgotten. So they are requesting Narada Muni to enlighten them about the necessary knowledge, following which, hearing which and following which they can become qualified to go back to Godhead. So this is the inquiry by Pracetas unto Narada Muni. Even this was the same inquiry by any hearer to the speaker. Everyone has the same thing. Now the Narada Muni will repeat. He will give the essence of all the spiritual instructions. Maitreya Uvacha iti pracetasam prushto Bhagavan
Narado
Bhagavati Uttama Shloka
Avishtatma
Avistatma Bravin Nrupan.
The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Pracetas, the supreme devotee Narad, who is always absorbed in thoughts of the supreme personality of Godhead, began to reply.
Yeah. Requested by the Pracetas, the great sage Narada, his mind absorbed in the Lord, then spoke to the Pracetas. So now the instructions begin, starting from text number 9 to 22. Today we'll cover 2-3 instructions and then we'll continue tomorrow afternoon the remaining instructions. Narada Uvacha Tajjanmatani Karmani Tad Ayustan Vachaha Nunam Enahi Vishwatma Sevyate Haririshwaraha.
The great sage Narada said, when a living entity is born to engage in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his fruitive activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect.
Narada says, the birth, activities, lifespan, mind, and words of human beings takes on real value by service to the Supreme Lord, the soul of the entire universe. So in this chapter, Narada Muni's instructions are all very practical. In the previous chapter also we saw that the prayers offered by the Pracetas are very practical, very simple. Are also very practical, which we can connect to our day-to-day activities. So here the first verse only they are saying that whatever things the jiva obtains while living in the body should be engaged in the service of the Lord. This is Adhyatma Jnana. What is the meaning of hearing, knowing and following Adhyatma Jnana? That means whatever we have with us, engaging everything in the service of the Supreme Lord. Yajnartat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Yat karoshi yadashnaji yajyoshi tadashe tapashti kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam. Sarvam krishnartakila cheshta. Some same principle whether we read it from Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. The principle is same. Whatever we have at our disposal, use it in the service of the Supreme Lord. Manmanabhava madbhakto madhyaji man namaskuru mavesh satyante nani mamevesh yuktevam atmanam matparayanam or mavesh satyante pratijane priyosime. In our Bhakti Shastri, our Bhakti Shastri students might have forgotten, but we discussed elaborately the meaning of this verse. Whatever we have in our disposal is all made up of 24 elements. Manmana means offering our man, buddhi, ahankara, chetana. Madbhakta means offering our 5 jnanidhyas and 5 karmendriyas. Bhakti means Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Bhakti means employing our senses in the service of the Lord Rishikesha. And Madhyaji, worshipping the Lord means the engaging the entire world. The flowers, the scent, the garments, the jewels, the altar, the home, everything using in the service of the Supreme Lord. Even the food in the form of Naivedya, everything. The 5 tanmatras which are meant for our enjoyment should be used in the service of the Supreme Lord. And Nam Namaskuru, offering respects by falling flat on the ground with our body made up of Pancha Mahabhutas. So like that. Pancha Mahabhutas, 5 tanmatras, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas, 4 antakarna. This is what we have at our disposal. If we offer all these things unto service, Lord service, Lord will offer himself to us. Ye etamam prapadantam savayam. So that is the principle. So this is explained in 13 verses, starting from text number 9 to 21. The meaning is that one's birth becomes real birth when the Lord is served in that birth. One's karmas become real karmas when they are used to serve the Lord. When all our karmas are used to serve the Lord, they become real karmas. Otherwise, all the karmas are simply binding us in this material world. Yajnatat karmano anyatra lokuyam karma bandhana. Also, one can add intelligence, one's senses, one's strength, one's austerity, one's scriptural study, one's yoga, one's sankhya, one's sannyasa, one's brahmachari, and all other items become real only when they are employed in the service of the Supreme Lord. This should be understood even from the later verses also. There is a prayer offered by Sukadeva Goswami before beginning to speak Bhagavatam in the 4th chapter of the 2nd canto. Tapasvino Danapara Yashasvino Manasvino Mantravidasu Mangala Kshemam Na Vindanti Vina Yadarpanam Tasme Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. Kshemam Na Vindanti. One does not get the expected results without offering all one's endeavors to Supreme Lord. Only in offering all get the expected results. Then they will be called real activities. The results will be real results without any karmic bondage. So that is the understanding. That's what we say, na? Yagnachishta shinashanto muchante sarva kilbishe bhujtite yagam papa ye pachanti atma karmanat. If we offer Krishna Prasad, we are free from bondage. If we don't offer to Krishna and eat, we are bound by the reaction. So same principle applies to everything, which includes our birth, our activities, our intelligence, our senses, strength, austerity, spiritual study, yoga, our performance of Ashtanga Yoga, performance of Sankhya Yoga, performance of practice of Sannyasa, practice of Brahmacharya, practice of household order, everything includes in that. So this is the principle which Narada Muni is beginning with. So here it is mentioned at one point, humans, Nranam. It is mentioned for humans. Then their question arises, Humans are mentioned because human life is suitable for service to the Lord. But if he does otherwise, then his life is like a animal life. Having become a human, one should utilize all one's activities, all one's great qualities and possessions in service of Supreme Lord. Then they become actual. So in that way. And Narada Muni further goes, Kim Janma Bistri Birveha Shaukara Savitra Yagnikai Karma Birvatrai Proktair Pumsho Bi Vibudhayusha.
A civilized human being has three kinds of births. The first birth is by the pure father and mother.
Great, Prabhuji.
Very good.
Prabhuji. Continue.
Oh, thank you. The first birth
Prabhuji.
is by the pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. The second birth takes place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth, called Yajnika, takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attaining such births, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if one does not actually engage in the service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord.
Yeah, it is like that. Without that service, what is the use of taking three births? First birth by semen, second birth by Upanayana, and third birth by initiation into the performance of Yajna. What is the use of ritual acts mentioned in the Vedas? What is the use of the lifespan of a Devata for a human being? The first birth, Shaukaram, means birth from a pure mother and father. The second birth, Savitra, means birth by taking the sacred third, Vedic initiation known as Upanayana ceremony. In the Vedic understanding, we have Upanayana ceremony at the age of 7 or 8. There is the performance of Upanayana, then the child was sent to Gurukul. In the Gurukul, the child is taught all the Vedas and Upanishads, everything, etc. etc. When the Brahmana boy becomes qualified to perform Yajna, he will be given the third initiation, Yagnikai. Yagnika means that kind of Brahman initiation by which the Brahmana boy can become qualified to perform Yajna. So in that way. Without service to the Lord, these three and even birth as a Brahmana are equivalent to a pig's birth. Since the results are similar, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Jatre, Shayani, Pai, Murari. But birth in an outcast with service to the Lord is a proper human birth because it enables one to attain the Supreme Lord. Compared to birth in Brahmana family, birth in outcast is better if he is able to serve the Lord. And a Brahmana boy is not able to serve the Lord with all one's facilities. So that is understanding. The other items should be understood in the same way. If the Vedic actions are useless, then what to speak of the secular actions? If the Vedic actions such as the Brahmanas, birth, first birth, second birth, third birth, and reading the Vedas are useless if they are not used in service of Supreme Lord, then what to speak of the activities of the ordinary people? Even if a person is endowed with the lifespan of that of Brahma or the Devatas, if that is not used in service of Supreme Lord, all these are useless. One need to die only. A Brahma Bhuna Loka Punaravartin Arjuna. Mamu Petetu Kaunteya Punarjanma Na Vidyate. Even though one may go to Brahmaloka, become a resident of Brahmaloka also, good for nothing. But if one takes to devotional service, even here, even not being human, even as an animal also, one can go back to Godhead. So that is the glory of Bhakti. So in that way.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Matash.
Which activities are spiritual but are not meant for pleasing the Supreme Lord? Because here it comes, my understanding was whatever is done for the pleasure of the Lord only, that is called as spiritual. But
Okay.
here it is saying that spiritual activities also, but if they are not for the pleasure of the Lord, they are useless.
No, they are called Vedic activities, the traditional Vedic activities.
Okay, those are
Not
considered
the
as spiritual.
yeah. Taking birth in the Brahmana family, going to Gurukul and studying the Vedas, but not you serving the Lord.
Okay, so Vedic study is spiritual, but so
Vedic
Vedas
study
is
is
the
Vedic.
value.
Vedic study is Vedic, not spiritual. No, don't give any name, whether they are spiritual or not. The Vedic study, studying the Vedas, studying the getting the qualification to perform yajna, all these things are there, but they are not serving the Lord. With the understanding that the Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then what is the use? Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. A Brahmana is supposed to know the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. Okay.
So like that. So this is the last verse for today's discussion. This is small only. The next verse onward, there is a lot of discussion that we will do tomorrow. श्रुतेन तपसा वा किं वचोभिश्चित्तवृत्तिभिः बुद्ध्या वा किं निपुणया बलेनेन्द्रियाराधसा. Without service to the Lord, what is the use of hearing scriptures like Vedanta? Shrutena. If we are not going to serve the Lord, what is the use of hearing the Vedas and Vedanta? And what is the use of performing austerities? What is the use of becoming expert discussions of scriptures? Having expert debates among the scholars about the grammar and the ability to understand the scriptures. Chitta vritti, a person may be qualified in the grammar. They will be able to understand the meaning of the Vedas. And a person may be highly intelligent and having expertise in performing activities, nipunaya, having lot of physical strength or sharpness of the senses, balayana, indriya, radasa. What is the use of all these things if one is not employing all these things in service of Supreme Lord? Shrutena means hearing Vedanta and other scriptures. Vachobi means expert explanations of the scriptures. Chitta Vrittibi means able to understand the meaning of the various scriptures. Rajasa means sharpness. Even one may have all these things, but not using in the service of Supreme Lord, then what is the use of having all these things? So like that, Nardamani is telling. One, by one's good fortune, might be endowed with all these wonderful qualities. But what is the use of having all these qualities if one is not employing all these things in the service of Supreme Lord? So like that. So Nardamani from the very beginning indicating that the most important thing is service to Supreme Lord. He is not denying having all these things. One can have all these things, but one should employ all these things in service of the Supreme Lord. Then there is a completeness to having all these things. So that is the understanding. So we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow afternoon. Is it okay? We can have class tomorrow afternoon. Hare
Yes.
Krishna, devotees.
Yes, Prabhuji, no problem.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Class from 1:30 to 3, small class. Regularly we used to have 2 to 3:30.
Okay.
So just for tomorrow we'll have a little early, 1:30 to 3. Maybe
Okay.
I'll let you know. 1:30, I'm not sure whether it is possible or not, because tomorrow I have a class from 11:30 to 1. So if I'm able to do my lunch and all 1 to 1:30, I'll inform you. But be ready for 1:30. Even if I am late, I may be late by 5-10 minutes.
Okay. So class will be till 3 o'clock, na Prabhuji?
Yeah, till 3 o'clock only. Small class, 1.5 hour. We have few more verses. 30 verses are there. We have already done 10, 11. About 18, 19 verses are there. We'll do them.
Okay.
There will be some discussion for the Narada Muni's instructions afterwards. Just storyline only. We'll just read through.
Okay. Okay.
And
Fine.
hence we can complete the 4th canto tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. Prabhuji,
Yes,
how
Nitish.
does it feel to be sitting on the other side, the student?
Student? Ah,
Yeah.
exciting. So